Today we're going to blow the lid off of a piece of rock and roll and NHL trivia. Is the song New Kid in Town based on an NHL hockey player? Yes. It's been confirmed in recent years that Glenn Fry got the idea for New Kid in Town because of the trials and tribulations of his good friend Gene Carr of the LA Kings. Now, Gene Carr, for the people that are not over the age of 30, was considered a can't-miss prospect that came to the NHL in the early 1970s. And he eventually scored his first NHL playoff goal for the Rangers on April 23rd, 72. Was a big potential for the squad. Now, he eventually became one of the top fan favorites in New York before finding his way to LA. Very good against some of the key squads. Now, when Carr entered the NHL, he appeared to be one of the more remarkable rookies the league had seen in some time. He had long blonde hair and skated like the wind. A lot of people said faster than Guy Lafleur. These led to the fans to meet and even some of his own team executives to expect the world of him. That hype surrounding Carr in his rookie year was outstanding. Now, St. Louis, who traded him to the Rangers after only 15 games with the Blues, talked about winning Stanley Cups with him. The Rangers called him a can't-miss superstar, and one of their own public relations executives were quoted in the Hockey News saying he's as much after he scored 4 points in his first game with the Blue Shirts on Madison Square Garden. But the truth was Carr did not have the offensive talent or flair of Guy Lafleur or Marcel Dion, even though the people remarking him wanted the public to believe it. A remarkably fast skater, he lacked scoring touch, evidenced by the many missed nets and hit goalposts. Now, going to New York put more pressure on Carr, since Rangers fans were known to be tough on their own players. When Carr failed to meet expectations, they routinely gave him mock cheers. When he was benched for an entire game, they chanted, "We want Carr" throughout the third. Ironically, by that time, he was just starting to show potential with his first NHL hat trick. He suffered the first major injury of his NHL career and never fully rebounded. The following year, he was nearly killed in the first of 2 major car accidents during his playing days. One of the persons who understood Carr's story of having been overhyped was his close friend Glenn Fry of the Eagles, who based the song New Kid in Town on Carr. The song includes the lyrics, "Great expectations, everybody's watching you," and the line, "Everybody loves you, so don't let them down." Overblown expectations aside, while he ended up in LA, injuries also hindered Carr, and he never panned out to be anything like the player he was built to until his 7th year in the NHL, when he had 54 points in a 70-game stint with Pittsburgh. When expectations were raised after that season, he signed a big contract with Atlanta. Carr again failed to live up to them, and he was out of the league 18 months after his best season. Years later, as a result of his injuries, he had to walk with a cane and eventually required a wheelchair. But at the time, he was in his 60s. So, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I bring up Gene Carr, I did a recent podcast about Wickenheiser, and they were saying that Carr was probably one of the biggest, first-round busts. He wasn't a bust. He just didn't give it up enough time to develop. Anyway, the concussion accident in Boston was with Ranger teammate Mike Murphy when they were taking a cab back to the hotel when their vehicle was hit broadside in an intersection by a speeding police car. Now, and then the near fatal accident. Now, Gene Carr in LA was a sensation, and when he used to come into Montreal, the Quebec announcers would say, "Oh, that's the what they call the superstar of the Kings," but in a deriding climate. He could have easily been a 30-goal-a-year guy, but like I said, when pressure is put on you by the media, look how much pressure that the Montreal Canadiens and Toronto Maple Leafs get from the media, one for making the playoffs and not winning, and the other for not losing enough to get Connor Bedard. Is pretty strange. But I want you to listen to that song, New Kid in Town, and take a look at Gene Carr's hockey cards and just match the two. He matches the song. Glenn Fry, that's one of the best songs the Eagles did of what he called their second golden era. Thanks for listening. Bye.